Welcome
Welcome to
We're going to try to
Shade.
bring y'all some energy because the reunion just did not have it. I apologize. Welcome to Shade in the City. I'm already being shady. Um, I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And today we are jumping into part 2 of Love and Marriage Detroit Season 1, the reunion. Shade Squad, we're going to make this quick. And as y'all know, like we like to do when we are thoroughly unentertained or a little bit bored, we're going to wrap it up in a nice, shady little bow. So yeah, this might be a quick one, okay? And we got things to do, trips to take. We catching flights, not feelings, okay? So now, if you haven't already, Shade Squad, look, that's how much I was ready to get into it. I was about to get into it. If you haven't already, Shade Squad, please make sure y'all hit that like button
and that subscribe button.
Let's get shady, y'all. As y'all know, we left off with Kolby just in tears on stage and being so upset and emotional over, the status of her relationship with Kristina. Now, Carlos asks what Kristina wants to say to her. Kristina kind of comes over and consoles Kolby and says that they've been close for a long time. And she actually invited Kolby and Russ on the show. I love how she made it a point to say that. She says she wouldn't have invited anybody on if it meant that their future was going to end up, breaking up like this. And she says that she loves them both to pieces. And she said she's hurt too, but knows they're hurt as well.
Of course, the victim has to be hurt too.
Right. So she says that she came there not knowing if she wanted to do that. But knows that people use resistance as a way to protect themselves, and she understands that, reiterates whatever it takes or whatever work is needed to repair it. She's willing to do it because it's deeper than just the show. And then Brandon and Russell get up and hug it out. And, Carlos explains one of the reasons he wanted to do this cast was because they had a history and it was authentic, and it pains him to see them in that place. And he encourages them to start from a place of love.
I didn't have any tears. It didn't touch me in any type of way. I felt like it was all bullshit because listen, during the show, while the show was going on, I did feel some type of way. I did feel bad. And I told you, I felt like Kristina was in the wrong, but I felt like Kolby should have gave her some time and shouldn't have pushed it the way she did, because she was also going through her own personal problems. And I think that had she done that, it would have been a different outcome. But fast forward, now we're here, and now she's apologetic, and now she's feeling so sad, and she's so sorry, and she wants to repair everything. But they already had that conversation, but y'all didn't have a conversation since y'all wrapped. So now in front of the cameras, you're talking about how you feel bad and you're both hurt and you need to repair. Why weren't y'all repairing before y'all got to the reunion? Even if y'all are not repaired now, why weren't y'all working on repairing? So to me, it was all bullshit. It was for the cameras. So no, yeah. It didn't affect me in any type of way.
Okay.
So then he moves on to the beef between Brandon and Anthony. Carlos asked Brandon, after 20 years of friendship, after everything we saw on screen here, how did y'all get here? Brandon says, you know what, let me start with a few names first. Okay. He says Big Sean, T Grizzly, La Brittany. So you was right about that. Nisha Nashay, Shayna Wilson.
Oh, you went through all those?
I did, because I didn't know who the last two people was. So basically he says that those are all artists that have come through the Star Factory at some point in their career.
Did you see how Carlos was looking when he said that?
Anthony said they're paid the whole $50. Sir.
They still came through there and paid their $50, Anthony.
And he basically says that he does this. He does big shows, okay? He does TED Talk. And see, I've got these too, because I didn't know what the hell he really do. Just like Brandon. He says he does Big Sean. Lil Wayne. He said he does 5,000 people daily or better. But Brandon said, okay, congratulations.
Right.
Congratulations to you, sir. And he said, the only reason why I brought it up is because you said I didn't produce a star. And I was just letting you know what it was. So Carlos asked Anthony if he respects Brandon as a boss or if he even thinks he's a boss. He said he respects Brandon. And his business and what he does. He's even he supports his company. He just felt totally disrespected by him saying that he don't know what he does. And basically he stood in his shit and said, I don't know what you do. Brandon said, I don't.
I'm standing 10 toes down on that.
He was like, I know y'all got it because of your lifestyle, but I don't know how you get it. So LaToya jumped in and said, you made an insinuation that he gets it from his father. He's a trust fund baby. And she was like, and there's nothing wrong with generational wealth, period. Okay.
Right.
She said she's trying to, build that for their children. But, in the Black community, is always the question how they got it. And she said, she felt like it was wrong to ask. So Brandon said it was a jab, but, it was after the Star Factory comment. Now, Anthony says that he does believe that they both took it a little too far, but it ain't nothing they can't come back from. Kristina says that she never really understood why what happened between the four of them caused him to call Brandon a snake and it interfered with their business. I feel like he actually said why he called him a snake.
Yeah, because he
Why?
said, I feel like you moving slimy, and if you'll do that for somebody who's supposed to be close to you, why would I want to rock with you?
I don't even know why he even needed to address it again. But
Right.
Anthony
People
said
forget, we got to rehash.
Anthony said that he got mad and that's why he didn't want to share the showcase stuff with LaToya because he didn't want it to interfere with LaToya and Kristina's relationship, but they still ended up beefing. And he said, he's apologetic for that, and that was definitely not him and Brandon's intent. So he asked Kristina if she wants to have a friendship with LaToya. It was like, we was never really friends like that. We was
right. We saw each other in the street. We got
right.
mutual
I don't
friends.
even know if we was really associates, but anyway, she said not like this, but she does have a ton of respect for her, but she feels that, she gets the short end of the stick or the cold shoulder and she doesn't understand why. LaToya said that might be her personality. As she's getting older, she's very cautious on developing friendships. Kristina feels that LaToya is judgmental towards her, and she said that they have mutual friends and she doesn't understand why she won't just go to the mutual friend rather than going to people that really don't care for her, about her character. And she said that she was told that she was the user and not trustworthy. Then says she's manipulative with a lot of the things that she says. LaToya said that she was hurt by the statement that she made saying, is this, what she say? Oh, is this what your degree got you? And she
Right.
said, boo, first of all, I'm a Black woman in sports medicine, and I'm amongst the 1% of Black wine owners. She said, all my life I had to fight.
Okay.
Okay. And she said, Kristina said, I just felt like you were using your degrees to judge me. So LaToya said, your actions don't support your words. And she was referring to the friendship with Kolby. She said, what did she do to Kolby that was so bad? Kolby started to interrupt and I guess, speak on it. She's like, no. I want to hear from LaToya. Let LaToya speak.
Mm.
So LaToya says she didn't feel that she was a good friend because of how the situation played out. She says that they weren't speaking to each other after the situation. Kristina said Kolby also wasn't speaking to her. So why is she the bad guy? She said that was the first time they ever had an exchange like that, and she didn't raise her voice or come at her or say anything belittling or nasty. And LaToya said that she didn't address her or didn't come to her. And basically, she reiterated that she didn't speak to her. And apparently, she also, according to Kolby, held Kolby accountable and told her that she was in the wrong for raising her voice at Kristina.
Kolby said that's
And
what we didn't see.
exactly, and for blowing it out of proportion. So the consensus are that, they didn't have any direct beef. And Carlos says that he's hopeful that they will get past this. I just felt like that was a mouthful.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of back and forth.
Mhm.
I feel like I guess this is why, because I don't know if y'all saw me, and I love you. It wasn't you. It was what you were talking about. I feel like we've rehashed this over and over and over this season. Nothing new is coming from it. I just feel like LaToya really don't see. I feel like LaToya and Anthony are observers, and they may not always say it, but they are watching how you treat other people.
LaToya is an observer and don't say and don't say how she feels. She said she was an observer. Now I do believe Anthony is an observer as well, but he speak on
it. Right. Okay.
He ain't got no problem speaking. He speak when he ain't supposed to speak. He speak when it ain't got nothing to do with him.
Right. Okay.
But he speaks.
Yeah, he speaks. He ain't afraid to speak. So then they tackle the infamous publicist debate. And I love how they keep saying publicist because I feel like Carlos was like, I'm not gonna keep giving you clout.
Yeah, after.
So Carlos asked Brandon if
you know what though? It also made me think after when he said what he said about it, it made me think that after they showed her in the scene, anytime they ever needed to talk about her again or get her involved, it was a phone call. She was no longer.
Right. She wasn't gonna, because everybody was like, why don't you bring her back?
Carlos said, not today.
Not today. Not on my time. Not on my good camera filming time. Nope. So Carlos asked Brandon if he said, anything close to what was believed to be said about Brittany, that he really don't rock with her. Brandon still claims he never said that. Brandon said he has no beef and she's a top publicist there in Detroit. So him saying that is a problem. And he won't have conversations one-on-one with Anthony moving forward without a third party being around. And I said, well, that's probably smart. Now, Anthony says he's 100% sure. He said the only reason he said something to her was because she works with them and they have a relationship. We all know that. Again, we discussed this. Brandon says he's lying through his teeth. He thinks Brittany is one of the coolest, funniest people he knows. Brandon thinks he just wants to keep Brittany to himself. Carlos questions Brandon and asks him if he thinks Anthony would fabricate it. So, and I'm not going to lie to you, I feel like Carlos kind of believed Anthony. The way he was like, why would Anthony just make up this whole story on his own?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, and he kept
and another reason why I think that he believes Anthony, and I don't think Carlos is the only one, because I believe Anthony as well.
You believe Anthony as well.
Yeah, it's because
Anthony.
It's because of Anthony's character. Anthony has proven time and time again that he's accountable. When he says something or he's done something, he has no problem admitting it. We can't say the same thing for Brandon.
Well, so Russ chimes in and says, but Brandon, you did say that if you said that, you didn't remember it on the show. And Carlos is like, you know what? I'm done. This is over and over in a hamster wheel. Kristina reveals that Brittany said Anthony is out to prove to the world that Brandon is a liar, which we did see footage of her saying that. Carlos feels Brittany involved herself in this situation to try to be a part of the show. Kristina says she wouldn't say that, and Kolby absolutely agrees. And
they also showed in the unaired version that she switched up her story when that was brought up at the retreat.
So again, maybe I was getting on Bravo and what is his poor wife's name? The girl that came at the end. But Bravo and his wife, I have to agree with him.
Like Lakeisha or something?
Huh?
Lakita?
Lakita. Yeah, Lakita. I think it's Lakita.
I don't think that's
okay. Anyway, but I can appreciate that they were kind of right. And yeah, maybe Brittany was just being messy. Who knows? I still think
Kolby said bingo.
Right. I still think Anthony was kind of was telling the truth. But yeah.
So they move on to the man's movement, Anthony's man's movement.
Or the mints.
Huh?
As Kolby called it, the mints.
I didn't get that.
because there was so few. It's like if you spell movement, there was so few people, so it's just the mint. It was like 4 people there. Like,
Oh, that's horrible.
Kolby got
That was
some good ones.
that
Kolby
was
got some good ones. I'm telling
shady.
you.
That was shady. So he said, he wanted to start it because when it comes to Black men, they're not having the conversations about the S word rates. Can I say that? I don't know.
No.
Okay. And dealing with their health. They don't get a lot of business loans when it comes to education. So they're
You
hitting
can say
different areas.
unalive rates.
Huh?
You can say unalive rates.
Oh, I guess, but it's a specific type of unalive. That's why, okay, well,
Offing rates, whatever you.
I guess. So they're hitting different areas and multiple channels, and the man's movement helps filter through different organizations as one coming together, working through the community. So he said basically it's a lot of,
Mm, 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 mm. Yeah.
what you reminded me of right now.
What?
The movies, how like in the movies they like just break out into song and like start singing and dancing out of nowhere.
Don't do that. But I hate musicals. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So basically he says that it's a lot of guys that are leaders and they come together as leaders from different organizations. So Carlos asked Brandon if he's clear on what it is now. He said, yeah, sure. Like, I guess. Kristina said initially she didn't know what it was either. But she can appreciate the effort to bring Black men together, and she gives him kudos for that. And she no longer thinks that he's a male chauvinist, but thinks that sometimes he is passionate about men being heard. And she said the confusion in America is we all feel that men are heard, but she understands what he's saying. It's in a different light. And he said that when they say it's a man's world, they're not talking about Black and brown men. So there's a lot of things that they're addressing and attacking because it's systemic. And apparently, Bravo was a fanboy for Marcel, which we caught a little bit of. I didn't see to the full extent, but according to Anthony, he was a fanboy.
Yeah, he
And
definitely made him sound like that. He was like, yeah, Bravo was on his
yeah. And Anthony said, I thought he was cool. He had he had a lot of jokes, and he was surprised I didn't know who he was. He was like, you don't know who I am? I'm famous. I'm famous. So
Well, they jump into Russell and Kolby's segment. Carlo asks when Russ started making decisions without her. She says that it's always been like that.
he said forever.
Right. He was single for 7 years before they got together, and he's just learning how to work with a partner. Now, Russell said that he's trying, and she said that the Russell she met years ago, before they were in the club making out, and Carlos.
When she said this, all I thought of, I wanna make love.
Right. I was like, okay, girl. Look, they still doing it, just not in the club. Now
he's
she
shooting up the
said
club.
she said he used to be a principal, and they used to be outside, but outside those 4 walls of that school, he was a totally different person. So they've been married for 4 years now. Kolby says she needs to do a better job of coming to him so that he can open up. And I love when Carlos was like, baby, I'm gonna need you to stop. You sound like you're blaming yourself instead of he needs to open up his mouth and communicate. I said, Carlos, you better. You better. And the only reason I said it is because I feel like we have seen Carlos let a lot of stuff go with Marceau, with Maurice, whatever, because he may like them or whatever the case may be. I get it. That was your moneymaker. I totally get it. So I was so happy to see him hold Russ. I wish he would have done. I guess he held Brandon accountable. I don't know. Anthony was but Anthony held himself accountable. But yeah, no, I really felt the way he dug into Russ's ass. I really did. Even though I love Russ, I felt like somebody needed to say it because he don't listen to his wife. He needed to hear it how we see it. And I think it was, in my opinion, it was probably even more healthy that it came from another man. That no, it's not just a woman and how we feel. And no, you're wrong. I'm sorry, I went on a rant. So Carlos asked him what's taking him so long to like change, or start to change. And Russell's like, it takes time. And Anthony tells him, keep fighting. And Carlos asks him, or are you going to keep gaslighting? I said, ooh, Carlos got that smoke. He tells him he's going to end up with a wife who feels like she did everything and he wasn't listening. Carlos tells the men he wants them to all step it up and communicate. And I said, well, you know what, Carlos? That was the best part of the damn reunion, in my opinion. It was. Outside of the Kolby announcing that she's pregnant with baby number 2. So congratulations, Kolby. Woo!
Yes, congrats.
Confetti. So, yes, guys, that was pretty much it. We ain't got nothing else to give you because it won't much there. They definitely could have wrapped it up. They could have just made the first one an hour, and I would have sat through an hour or 15 minutes more just to get what they gave us and sitting through 40 more minutes of it. Just saying. But we appreciate you all going through this with us and watching our review, and appreciate the love. Appreciate y'all. We growing and glowing, and we want to keep doing that. So if you haven't already, Shade Squad, hit that like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following. Make sure definitely that you are following us on all the platforms, TikTok, Twitter, the Facebook, and IG, because we will be out here, okay? In these streets.
These NOLA streets.
In these NOLA streets. And if y'all want to see what we up to in Nolans, and y'all better follow us on the platforms. But I don't
know where you sound like you from.
I know, right? But no, thank you guys. We appreciate the love. We really, really do appreciate the support. Have a good night, and we'll catch you later. Bye. Oh no, it's the finale. We won't catch y'all for this. This is over. Bye.